After centuries of humans being born blind, Jerla Morel is hunted down for being able to see. Tamakti Jun tracks him down to the village of Alkany but only finds Jerla Morel's former lover Magra and her twins, who inherited their father's sight. Magra's new husband, Baba Voss, relocates his village to protect the twins from witchfinders, while their mother is determined to keep their abilities a secret. Royal tax collector and witchfinder general Tamakti Jun returns to Queen Kane. He kneels before her and notes that his 20-year commission is over. Tamakti Jun hands the queen a music box, adding that he has collected taxes, materials, and laborers. However, Kane knows he failed as a witchfinder. The man recounts that he interrogated and burned villages to find Jerla Morel, but Kane realizes that by speaking his name to the people, Tamakti Jun inadvertently spread the word about him. This would allow Jerla Morel to gather followers. Thus, Tamakti Jun admits to failing her, so he accepts his punishment but asks to be allowed to take his own life instead. Before Kane can answer, Lord Dune enters, reporting how the people are rejoicing over the spoils that Tamakti Jun brought. He asserts that 100 carts of spoils should outweigh the witchfinder's failure to find one heretic. With this, Kane approaches Tamakti Jun and expresses her appreciation for his service. However, she only permits him to take his own life. The man then grabs her hand and kisses her ring before leaving. After he leaves, Dune asks why she didn't spare him since he only failed to capture one man. Kane yells that what they lost is power since Jerla Morel is a god who will create more gods. In the new Alkany village, Jerla Morel's daughter, Haniwa, guides her stepfather, Baba Voss, to the forest to hunt. Since she can see, unlike the rest, Haniwa made a bow and arrow, following the instructions from a book Jerla Morel left for her. With them, she easily kills a turkey. Haniwa insists that because of the books, she can hunt food easier. However, Baba worries about what her mother would think since she doesn't know they've read the books. Haniwa laments that her brother feels the same and insists they hide their knowledge. Later, Haniwa joins her brother, Kofun, near the falls to read. Noticing a villager nearby, Haniwa aims her arrow since she could easily kill them, and they wouldn't know it was her. Kofun tells her that their father didn't leave them books to make weapons, so Haniwa asks what else could be the reason. She then wonders about meeting Jerla Morel, but Kofun isn't convinced about meeting their birth father. In contrast, Haniwa has already studied a map, hoping to meet him. When Kofun focuses on learning the history of the world, Haniwa thinks he's wasting their knowledge since he's not really using them. Their conversation is halted when they hear the sound of a horn. The villagers gather as an elder known as the Dreamer announces that Southerbax gave birth to a deformed baby. The grieving mother accuses Baba and his wife Magra as the witches who cursed her, so her nephew, Gether, demands that they be burned. However, Paris insists that the baby's condition wasn't because of a curse. The Dreamer agrees, pointing out that since their village is small, the next generations demand fresh blood, otherwise they'd give birth to monsters. Quietly, Haniwa whispers to her brother that this is simple genetics. The Dreamer suggests having the villagers join festivals with their neighbors again, but Baba refuses since they're hiding from the witchfinders. Instead, he advises the people to choose their partners well, glancing at Gether as he knows that he fathered his aunt's child. Later, the Dreamer confronts Baba for isolating their people, but he stresses that they're being protected. The Dreamer argues that many still believe that the witchfinders targeted them because of his children. She warns if he forbade them from traveling, they'll start leaving. After the Dreamer leaves, Paris warns Baba that if their people wander, they could lead the witchfinders to them. Magra suggests controlling where the people go, so she suggests a certain festival where they can find new blood and supplies. She reminds her husband that they must protect the twins, even if it means controlling their people. Meanwhile, Tamakti Jun climbs the palace dam just as Kane receives one of the messages in a bottle that Gether had spread in the river to divulge their location. Because of this, Kane stops the Witchfinder General from throwing himself off the dam as she finds hope of locating Jerla Morel. Soon, Baba and Magra prepare to lead the people into a festival. However, they're leaving the twins behind to avoid exposing their secret. Haniwa argues that they're better at keeping secrets than their mother thinks, which catches Magra's attention. Baba intervenes, saying the twins aren't old enough to procreate. Haniwa says she doesn't want to procreate with a blind man, and her mother asks why she thinks this way. The girl apologizes, but Magra notes that she has doubts about her family but chooses to believe they wouldn't lie to her. After Magra exits, Baba reminds his stepdaughter that their gift of sight doesn't make them superior to others. Outside, some villagers gather to leave, including the Dreamer's daughter, Bowlion. Soon, Magra leads their people, not knowing that the twins are following them to see the world for the first time. By night, the villagers arrive at an abandoned amusement park where people from other villages gather to trade supplies. There, a man claims to be a priest of the god Flame. Behind him is a pyre where people people accused of being witches are bound to. Haniwa notices that the people are blind, so they'll be burned for nothing. Still, the people are set ablaze, and Kofun stops his sister from yelling in protest to avoid being discovered. As they listen to the execution, Paris deduces that Tamakti Jun's message traveled and created disciples. This strengthens Baba's belief that the twins will only be safe in their home, but Magra becomes pessimistic. Horrified, Kofun runs away and throws up. Suddenly, men grab him while Haniwa watches a ceremonial dance where others, including Bo, find partners. In the morning, Haniwa wakes up to a woman crying that slavers took her daughter. Realizing that her brother is gone, she wakes her mother and father, thinking that Kofun was also taken. Elsewhere, Kofun walks with the rest who were captured, but he gets scolded for pausing. He argues that the girl in front of him is hurt and bleeding. Suspicious, the leader, Wek, asks how he knows, so Kofun claims that he's a sentir, therefore he can smell the blood. Meanwhile, Haniwa sees smoke and assumes it's where the slavers are heading. Baba insists that there's no time to gather warriors, so he lets his stepdaughter lead. When they reach the forest, Haniwa finds a message from Kofun instructing her to follow the path. This forces her to confess to her mother that she read the books Jirla Morel left. Heartbroken, Magra asks who gave them the books, so Paris admits that she did. Soon, the slavers take Kofun and the others to an isolated area. Haniwa leads her family to an industrial area where she sees the smoke. Baba recognizes the place as where the people are kept before being sold. Surprised, Haniwa asks how he knows, so he admits that he and his father were slavers. Baba was raised to chain, beat, and sell innocent people. He had already buried that part of him, but now he must awaken that side to save his son. Haniwa volunteers to help, but Baba refuses to let her see what he'll do. Baba soon quietly sneaks into the area, holding a slaver hostage. Seeing him, Kofun makes a sound to alert him of where he is. Upon hearing this, Baba snaps his hostage's face in half, then spreads rocks to mislead his enemies and kills 2 slavers. Baba tells Kofun to close his eyes, so the boy does, allowing his stepfather to kill the slavers swiftly. When he hears one holding a rope, he pushes a dead man to get captured and uses the rope to find and kill his enemy. He then throws a blade at one that's chasing after him and kills another. Kofun opens his eyes just as Baba faces Wek, who recognizes Baba as the great deserter. As they fight, Wek throws metal to distract Baba, making him turn away. Kofun warns his stepfather, but this alerts Wek that he's Baba's son. Angered, Baba rushes and slices Wek's stomach before stabbing a sword into his mouth. A surviving slaver tries to run, but Haniwa shoots him with an arrow. Realizing that his children saw his savagery, Baba feels ashamed. Outside, Paris and Magra wait until Baba and the twins return. Immediately, the mother runs to her son's arms, happy that he's okay. However, now that they're all safe, Magra yells out her frustrations about being lied to by her family. Soon, they return to Alkany with the rest. Kofun assures his mother that none of what he learned from the books makes him want to leave their home. Her daughter, however, notes that she killed a bad man because she had the power to do so. She then confesses that everything she learned makes her want to leave, yet Haniwa fears that her recklessness might get her burned. Hearing this, Magra rushes to her daughter and hugs her. She forgives her children, understanding their curiosity and choices because she also felt them when she was with Jirla Morel. Finally, she decides to tell them who Jirla Morel is, so she asks Baba to fetch Paris so she can hear her stories too. Outside, however, Baba stops when he hears dogs in the distance, as the witchfinders have finally found them. As Tamakti Jun's army approaches, Magra retrieves a pouch from under the floorboards. During this, Gether and Souther encourage their people to give up Magra and her twins so they can finally be free. Suddenly, Kofun grabs Gether and holds him hostage. With this, Magra, the twins, Paris, and Baba head to the river, along with their allies Akra and Matal. The dreamer silently encourages her daughter to go with them, knowing what will happen next. Tearfully, Bo leaves her mother. While crossing the woods, Gether tells Kofun they have no use for him, so he should release him. Haniwa thinks they should kill him, but Kofun knocks him out, asserting that they're not a violent tribe. In the village, Tamakti Jun and his men surround the people and demand them to surrender Jirla Morel's children. The dreamer tells him that they're gone, but he kills her, noting that they're all witches until proven otherwise. Gether suddenly returns, alerting the witchfinders where the others have escaped to. Soon, the group reaches the raft that Baba built in the river. As they silently traverse the river, the group listens to the witchfinders searching through the woods. They soon approach a riverbank where witchfinders are stationed, so Baba prepares his sword. The raft starts groaning, which Tamakti-jun hears. He calls out to the twins, noting that he's been looking for them since they were born. He recounts that he's killed many to reach them, so now he offers to spare their villagers if they surrender. Conflicted, Haniwa readies her bow. When they don't answer, Tamakti-jun signals his men to enter the river. Men swim through the water to find them, so Baba quietly dives in, killing witchfinders who get too close. One takes a chance and throws his rope, successfully pulling Matal off the raft. The others stifle their cries as Matal is killed, but soon, Akra is also captured. Kofun holds onto him while Baba kills the witchfinder holding his bindings, freeing their ally. However, the others are alerted to his screams, so they capture the raft's sail, pinning Paris and Magra against it. Bo and the twins join the fight. Haniwa shoots at the witchfinder that ensnared their raft, releasing Magra and Paris, but their mother gets wounded. Haniwa then sees Akra getting cornered, but before she can shoot, he gets outnumbered and killed. Instead, she shoots the arrow at Gether, who's standing with Tamakti-jun. As Gether bleeds, the raft floats away. Tamakti-jun asks him what's beyond the river, so he reveals that they're heading to open water. He begs the general for help, but Tamakti-jun pulls the arrow and stabs it into his heart. He then orders his men to kill the villagers. Later, the queen announces to her lords and ladies that the witches escaped. Lady Anne mocks Tamakti-jun, but Kane asks if she blames the god Flame when her skin burns. Anne answers that she'd blame her maid for not shading her since gods are not to be blamed. Kane wants to send more soldiers to Tamakti-jun, and the others protest. Anne points out that their soldiers have families who suffered during this fruitless crusade, and Dune stresses that their machines are failing, so they should focus on them first. The queen reminds them that she's their ruler until her death. Dune warns her that their people doubt her since she sacrificed their army and money for witch finding, yet they haven't found proof of the witch's power. Instead, all they know is that Jerla Morel is someone Kane loved but ran from her. Meanwhile, Baba rows the raft while his companions remain quiet, both in fear and mourning. Paris then reveals Jerla Morel's message, which he instructed her to give them once the twins were ready to leave. In the letter, Jerla Morel instructed them to follow the river to the Great Lavender Road, which would take them to his new kingdom, the House of Enlightenment. Magra tells her twins that this journey will change them. She questions what answers they'll get from the House of Enlightenment if they can't even recognize themselves anymore. Therefore, she asks the group to decide whether to find somewhere to live peacefully and away from the witchfinders or follow Jerla Morel's instruction. Haniwa believes that she can't know who she is until she understands where she came from, so she wants to meet her father. Kofun then decides that he can't be someone who ignores the truth out of fear. Hearing this, they take a vote. Baba and Magra vote to live peacefully, while Paris and the twins vote otherwise. Magra encourages Bo to vote, but Haniwa refuses since Bo hasn't been on this journey with them until now. Baba argues that Bo is part of the Alkene, but Haniwa points out that the villagers wanted to surrender them to the witchfinders earlier. Still, her stepfather asserts that their people took care of them and uprooted their lives to protect the twins. Suddenly, Bo votes to seek Jerla Morel since they've sacrificed too much to stop. At the palace, Anne and Dune plot to overthrow their queen. However, some people still believe that Kane is a god, so they'll be enraged if they kill her. To avoid this, Dune suggests making her death seem like divine intervention. Unknown to them, Kane's handmaiden, Neri, is listening. On the raft, Kofun asks Bo why she voted to go, so she mourns how their village is gone, and she has nowhere else to go. She's a shadow who can stalk others undetected, and since the twins can see, they're the only one she can't spy on. She knows them less than everyone else, but she voted for their cause because she's done fighting. Meanwhile, Baba shares his worries with Paris about how Haniwa spoke about their village. Paris sympathizes with how the twins believe they needed to keep their gifts a secret, so they're confused about who they are. Now, they have a chance to learn if they meet Jerla Morel. At the palace, Anne and Dune present a new songbird to their queen. However, when Anne unveils the cage, a poisonous spider is inside. Kane questions why the bird isn't singing, so Dune suggests taking the bird in her hand. Instead, Kane grabs Anne while Neri holds a blade to Dune's throat. The queen reveals how she knows that the entire parliament and city want her dead, so she stabs Anne, and Neri kills Dune. In the afternoon, as Baba and the rest set up camp, Magra asks her children what they imagine their father's kingdom will be like since they're risking so much for it. Haniwa imagines that it'll be somewhere where they'll remember how things were like before and where she isn't strange. Instead, she'll build something important without hiding who she is. Since Jerla Morel is the king, Haniwa notes that Magra will be the queen. Magra disagrees agrees since she'll be the only one in their family who can't see, so she'd be the strange one. Still, Haniwa believes they'll be better off there. The next day, their weapons go missing, along with Magra's pouch. Thinking the place isn't safe, the others insist on leaving. However, Magra refuses to leave without her pouch, stressing that inside it is the only thing she has from her father. Baba warns her that they're unarmed and they'll be putting their children at risk for this pouch. Haniwa then volunteers to track down the thieves, but Kofun has figured out who took their things, pointing to someone in the forest. Meanwhile, Neri reports to Kane that the people are protesting against her killing Anne and Dune. The surviving lords are plotting to rally the mob, which would endanger the queen. Hearing this, Kane heads to their machine's control board and prays. She accepts her fate and thanks her father for letting her make a choice. She then shuts down the machines that keep their dam running. The sudden water pressure causes the dam to collapse. The queen then leaves to find Jirla Morel as her palace is destroyed.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.